episode 57 of Fist of the North Star, 1 point. The keyword for this episode is going to be power again, and this is the fourth episode of this mini-series within this bigger series, of course. Power again. This is a recap episode, so right after the end of the fight between Rei and Yuda, you get a recap episode, which is such a good idea, by the way, because you get Rei's whole development. You see, well, all the things that we said, right? He was vengeful in the beginning, and then he sees Mamiya. And then here's a quick thing, it's not what I'm going to talk about, but very quick. He rips Mamiya's clothes, yeah? And then in this recap episode, what you get right after the next sequence is 𝚿𝚎𝚅. And so I mentioned something like, he was acting like the wolf dudes who are the last people he would like to be like, right? And so he rips Mamiya's clothes because he's like an animal, and then boom, you get those wolf dudes who basically did the same, or such criminals who's doing the same things to your sister. What about this? And so that's Rei going crazy. Him finding some truth in the hell in which he was in this chaotic world. Right, and the final, so you have Kenshiro as his friend who made him more gentle, and then Mamiya, and that's love, right? But I'm going to talk about something completely different. In this video, I want to focus on the end of this recap episode. Very specific things, super important. We said many things concerning this already. It's Mamiya, who can't see the 𝙿𝚎𝚅 star anymore. Thanks to Rei, of course, thanks to Rei's sacrifice. So, if Mamiya was going to die, and if she's not going to die anymore because Rei killed Yuda, quite obviously it's because Yuda was going to kill Mamiya. This is pretty obvious. Okay? What then? So, if Rei, arguably, if Rei lost against Yuda, then I guess Yuda could have killed Mamiya, right? I think so far it's simple enough too. I think we couldn't disagree on this much. What about Kenshiro? It's like, Yuda would have killed Mamiya when Kenshiro is around? Toki too, by the way, but he's sick. Here's something I want to say. Tell me what you think about this. This is a take of mine, and correct me if I'm wrong, but out of those big dudes, it's kind of I don't regret it, let's say, but I would have liked seeing Yuda against Kenshiro. This is one fight. We even saw Kenshiro against Rei, even though Rei is good, and even Shu, even though Shu is good too, but we never saw Yuda on any level. And it's the only Nanto dude that never fought against Kenshiro. And when Yuda was introduced, he's so strong, like he's almost completely naked, and I was like, whoa. And by the way, Yuda also says that he observes Kenshiro's techniques, not Rei's, when he betrays his own vice commander, right? He says, thanks to you, I could observe Kenshiro's techniques. I was really looking forward to get a Kenshiro against Yuda, but we never got that. But what would have happened if Yuda fought against Kenshiro? Well, you'd think Kenshiro would have won. Why? Rei wasn't supposed to win against Yuda. Now you're like, pardon me, what? Rei shouldn't have won against Yuda. Rei won against Yuda thanks to Kenshiro. Because Kenshiro went and blocked, that was super cool, by the way, with that huge rock, right? To, let's say, oppose Yuda's strategy. Yuda was going to win against Rei. Rei won thanks to Kenshiro. And so, we go back to the keyword for this episode. Power. What is the fourth thing that makes you more powerful? And this is a very important one, as much as you may not like it. But one thing that makes you more powerful is treachery. Being strategical, malicious. And don't you think it's only about evil people? Kenshiro does it all the time. Well, he did it with Rei when they faked killing each other against the Fang clan. Rao did it against Toki when he planted his own foot. Rao is using weapons, by the way. You have this idea that you shouldn't use weapons with Juggy, right? But Juggy doesn't care about the Hokuto Shinken, and he uses all sorts of weapons, right? But that's Jaggi's problem. It's like he's not conscious of what he's doing, but Rao knows what he's doing, and it works, right? Rao uses weapons too. He used his cape against Rei, because Rao uses all martial arts, but he believes more in himself than in the Hokuto Shinken. Well, Jagi does that too, but Jagi is in delusion. He's not that strong. Rao is strong, let's say. That's the main difference. But treachery makes you more powerful, to the point that maybe Yuda would have beaten Kenshiro with his treachery. Why not? He could have beaten Rei, even though Rei wasn't his freaking absolute prime there. As powerful as ever, as Yuda says it. So that's essentially what I wanted to say. I think that Yuda would have maybe beaten, well, Toki, who's sick, but he could have maybe beaten Kenshiro even. Because I think you could make a case for Kenshiro would have protected Mamiya otherwise. You know, but the Death Omen star disappeared from Mamiya's side thanks to Rei. And Rei being helped by Kenshiro, that's very important. But if Rei died before, what would have happened if Yuda fought against Kenshiro? And maybe Kenshiro is stronger. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying the Hokuto Shinken would have, like, Kenshiro would have lost. It's like Yuda could have won thanks to his treachery. That makes you. Rao won that way against Toki already. You see. So that's a bit of a take of mine. Tell me what you think about that. But treachery is a big thing that makes you powerful, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, because you may use, let's say, such methods, cruel methods, as Kenshiro is often called cruel, right, against criminals, chaos against chaos. So there you go for this episode.